Read the disclaimer. Doofus. And please contact us through this email address with questions or fan art. Thank you for your support.
Many of you may be unaware of this, but I am a Beast Wars aficionado. Hence why I was so excited when Kingdom was announced that I made my own reaction video. However, even though I've acquired most of Wave 1 already through gift cards, a few donations, and also the support of the patrons, down to the description if you want to support me there, I'm missing one key cast member that was released in Wave 1. Rattrap. I'm not sure if I've got this totally right, but I might have been supposed to receive a copy of Kingdom Rattrap for Christmas, but it never came. So I decided to take matters into my own hands and got me a Rattrap that isn't new, but is still really cool in my opinion. Salutations, denizens of the internet. I'm Firebite27, and let us commence our analysis of my favorite Beast Wars character, aka Transmetal Rattrap Fox Kids Edition Repaint. Okay, it's time for a controversial opinion. This color scheme is miles better than the color scheme that they used on the show. Though I am at least aware enough not to blame that decision on Mainframe. It was most likely Hasbro, as they were the ones in control of the color schemes. But this well-balanced combination of red, gray, gunmetal, and green is superior in almost every respect to the red, brown, and gray, and orange that was used by the show. Beast mode articulation is basically non-existent, which is why I'm not having Maya cover it, but there are a supple amount of joints within the tail, which is nice, and is a handy alternative to having a wire in them that could break down over time. But the joints in there are a wee bit floppy now. I mean, it is over 20 years old at this point. This is also the point where I'll highlight the similarities between him and his quote-unquote great-aunt RC. Specifically Earthrise RC, who I have already covered at length. The first of these similarities being that they are both shell formers. However, Rattrap is superior to RC in the sense that he at least did something than just shove the robot mode underneath his shell. He at least tried to fold it up somewhat, and not just have the legs bend in a very uncomfortable looking direction. What's more is that the transformation between modes is both fun and easy. And neither mode looks like an unpainted piece of crap. Just look at all the tiny green paint applications. Also, the chrome. I'd be amiss if I didn't mention it. Heck, you can even see me waving to you right now in the chrome's reflection. Hello there. And we'll get to the purpose of this giant slab of chrome later. But first, I think it's time for some size comparisons. Here's Rattrap in his rat mode next to my last review, Kingdom Paleotrex, the last Beast Wars character I reviewed, Kingdom Cheetor, maybe one of the next reviews I'll make, Kingdom Optimus Primal, Kingdom Cyclonus, Generation Select Spinout, and for the heck of it, Kingdom Warpath. Oh, and a standard Qtama, standard can of sparkling water, and Fraudside. So overall, Rat Mode is interesting, but it's nothing to write home about. But there is a reason that this rat looks so robotic. And it's because it also does more than just be an animal. It's also a quote-unquote vehicle. So, Rattrap, transform into transport mode. Boom boom bam bam Go-Onger 笑顔のゴールを目指すんだエンジンSentai Go-Onger Okay, I think I'm gonna need a moment to process this. This alternate mode has never made sense to me.
even though I really like it. I mean, for Christ's sake, it is literally a rat on wheels with massive exhaust pipes. But I think what I find the most hilarious about this mode is that it was incorporated into the show so well in its story arc, but according to the writers, the process of incorporating it wasn't so smooth.
We put 2 moons in the sky figuring, okay, if we decide this is going to be Earth later on, we'll blow up a moon. And lo and behold, that's exactly what we ended up doing, and it tied into a huge story arc that made it look like we really knew what we were doing this whole time, and frankly, no, we were scrambling constantly.
But even though I love it, that still doesn't change the fact that it's really impractical. I mean, are scientists just going to try and turn their experiments where they have rats run through a maze into NASCAR? Or I guess, Rat's car?
Alright, release subject C-43.
Deja vu, I just been in this place before. Higher on the street and I know it's my time to go.
Is the dancing necessary?
And other than that, I really don't have a lot to say about this mode. Surprising, I know, but I mean, it rolls well, the details hiding underneath the rear wheels are nice, and the tailpipes are hilarious. So, instead of dragging out this segment, I'm just gonna get onto the size comparisons. Here's Transport Mode next to Paleotrex, Cheetor, Cyclonus, Spinout, Warpath, a standard Qtama, a standard can of sparkling water, and Fraudside. So overall, I like Rattrap's transport mode. It's by no means the best mode, but it's passable, especially compared to some of the other transport modes, like Transmetal 2 Megatron, or Cheetor. Whee! Anyways, Rattrap, maximize!
The Pinky and the Brain, yes, Pinky and the Brain. One is a genius, the other's insane.
And here we have the robot mode, and oh boy, time for my second comparison to Earthrise RC because, well, objectively this backpack is more egregious, but I find it less offensive subjectively. Don't get me wrong, one strong breath will knock him over faster than Kingdom Paleotrex, but at least it feels like it actually has class compared to RC's backpack. Not to mention that the whip weapon that is formed from the rat tail can act as a third leg, though I forgot to film that. Though the fact that you can literally give someone a rat tail with a rat tail is amusing to me. Help me! Oh my god! Now, in all fairness, I might be a little forgiving of this figure because A, it's old as hell, and B, Rattrap is my favorite character, but something about it is just cool. Maybe it's because of the aesthetic? And that aesthetic being that the robot mode is very organic, while the beast mode is very robotic. Everything about the robot mode that isn't, well, robotic seems sinewy and muscular, almost like it's living flesh. Once you get past that horrible face, you'll notice that he has the chiseled and sculpted physique of a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure character, at least from parts 1 to 3. Which is really weird when you remember that Rattrap is meant to be the wimpy demo man of the group. I mean, the pecs alone look swole enough to stop an entire runaway train. Rhinox must know how to make one hell of a protein shake, I'll give him that much. There are components that don't fit into the organic robot mode aesthetic, such as the feet, the kibble tumor on the back, and whatever these are on the sides of his pecs. Speakers. Also, does anyone know what this is beneath his pecs? I have a couple of guesses, and they're either his intestines, that tentacle that Megatron used to extract the other Megatron's spark, or it's his penis.
Now no one will ever be able to look at Rattrap's crotch the same way ever again.
It also puts Tokyo's raging boner into perspective. And speaking of appendages, I think that's your cue to do the articulation, Maya.
Shoulders are on a ball joint, biceps can rotate, elbow can bend, head can rotate, hips are on a ball joint, thighs can rotate, knees bend, and toes bend. Articulation on this figure is passable to say the least, but it wasn't a massive priority back in 1998.
Nor is it today with lines like the Cyberverse Warriors. Anyways, let's do some size comparisons before we wrap this episode up. Here's Rattrap next to Kingdom Paleotrex, Kingdom Cheetor, Kingdom Optimus Primal, Kingdom Cyclonus, Generation Select Spinout, Warpath, a standard Qtama, a standard can of sparkling water, and Fraudside.
So, would I recommend acquiring Transmetal Rattrap? Yes, I would absolutely 100% recommend it to you. Provided you're a fan of the original Beast Wars. Don't worry, there are several repaints and one knockoff of this figure available, and they are all, from what I can tell, relatively good. Just make sure that you get a version that has non-chipped chrome. The chrome just really adds something to this figure that I think would be lacking from it otherwise. And for that reason, I am going to give this figure a 8 out of 10. And with that being said, this is Firebike27 over and out. And don't forget, next time I'll actually be reviewing a figure from Kingdom.